I was only chatting to the Biggleswick Postmaster General the other day, and he was telling me exactly what was going down in that wonderful place called Biggleswick, which, as you know, is there sandwiched between the counties of Bedfordshire and Goodham. It's a lovely place because that's the place, as you may remember, that turned their back on the old-fashioned council that was pretty much a corporation and was being told what to do by the government. And instead of paying their council tax to the government and then having it in the Consolidate Fund and then whittled down with cameras and 15-minute cities and LTNs and all of that, the people set up their own council, made the old council redundant, and started to make massive improvements in the town. A town, by the way, which is absolutely improving every single day. As I may have told you last time, the cameras have all been removed because everybody gets on with one another. There's no yellow peril. The old, what would you call it? The people who used to put the tickets on the cars, as they used to be known in the old days, as they would march up and down. I think now that they're a private corporation being employed by many councils up and down the land, but not in Biggleswick, which is lovely to see. So I was just chatting away as I went in to buy some stamps at Biggleswick, and the Postmaster General said, "Oh, have you seen down at the parish hall? There's a barn dance this Friday. Are you coming along?" I said, "Oh, I think I will. I know I've been a little bit poorly recently, but I may be up to having a bit of a barn dance." He said, "Oh my goodness, it's gone really good. The old English country dancing is back and everybody loves it." I wonder if you remember the English country dancing that we used to have from, I don't know, back in the 60s and beyond. Here's a little picture just to remind you. This is out somewhere, I'm not sure, at some fete where everybody's getting together, as you can see, dancing and enjoying one another, dressing up in the old classic costumes of that period. And in fact, there is other pictures here from much older times when people used to get together cheek to cheek. Take your partner by the hand. And then they would do. And it was a phase, they used to do it at school. Do you remember? Here we go. Look, here's the girls of St. Trinian's, or is it St. Biggleswick? Who knows? And there they are, learning how to do the country dances in the old-fashioned way. And the thing about the country dances, I wonder if they're still going on. So I had a quick look on some dodgy old website here that is supposed to be good at algorithms and showing you what's going on. And it does appear in the search engine that people all over the world are still slowly coming back together and doing these rather wonderful things. Even the Morris men, of course, are being shown in here, which is rather splendid. So I was very impressed by that, because when I think back to my youth, we had youth centres when kids used to go around and meet up. They didn't just have a bowling alley over here and a cinema over here, or, of course, all those video games which kept people hidden away in their back bedrooms or their basements or the attics or the garden shed or wherever it was. People used to get together and see each other. And the parish rooms, they were the place where lots of all sorts of tea dances, barn dances, English country dancing, Morris dancing, where the community used to meet together back in the old days. And it's great to see that at Biggleswick, which is, I say, trailblazing really, to show what kind of a town or village that people really want to be in, where anybody can turn up and, "Hello, are you here for the country dancing?" "Well, I wasn't sure about that." "No, come on, I'm going to look after you." People of all ages welcoming you back into the old way of doing things, which was a much more pleasant way of doing things, it seems, than we have today, which is being thrust upon us by some corporate government and these councils who wish to follow the sort of net zero suicide pact and get rid of all the carbon that we need to actually grow things. And talking about growing things, I'm sure the Biggleswick Vegetable Fair will be happening very soon. And people will be sort of looking forward to the spring and summer when, of course, they'll be able to display their largest melons. I know Mrs. Miggs is very keen on displaying her largest melons, whereas Mr. Brian Toad is often very rude. about them. But anyway, that's my little update on what's been going on in Biggleswick. Apparently there's 11,000 parishes up and down the country, parish halls. And these parish halls could, of course, be utilised for meetings and people coming together, perhaps the old beer festivals and things like that, where people can meet and have a good old chin-chat about the sort of stuff that life used to be and the stuff that we actually want, not the stuff that people at the WHO and the WEF and those people with medical interventions and people who lose all their WhatsApp messages and all that kind of nonsense and go on so-called mainstream media to find out actually it's not as mainstream as you might thought. It's more controlled by Ofcom and places like that. The people actually want to get out and not be enclosed in their houses and meet socially again in the way that they used to do. And I'm very thrilled to think that 2024, despite all the warnings coming from all the doomslayers all over the place, I think is a time when people are going to be saying, do you know, enough of this digital world where we're forced behind screens all the time, and actually we're going to get out in front of people, get our pipes going and have a good old puff, have a lovely dance about, meet all the different ages on the village green, dance around the maypole, why not? And in fact, I'm sure that the Postmaster General would be only too thrilled if people came along in May, on May Day, and danced around the maypole when that appropriate time comes. It's going to be fantastic because, do you know what? We've won this nonsense that they've been pushing down our throats and pretending that we're all doomed and all the rest of it. I don't listen to the mainstream media. I don't watch television where they're trying to get you involved in what's going on in all sorts of different countries and how awful that is. I'm concentrating much more on the sort of future that I actually want, the one that I enjoy living. And I can tell you, a place like Biggleswick, in which everyone smiles and everyone is pleased to see you, and their policy is yes, let's see if we can do that. What a lovely idea. And we involve the whole family, sing songs round the piano and that sort of thing. We don't need professionals to come in and show us how to do things on the television. We'll get our own entertainment. We'll do our own thing at those lovely English country dancing and various other things. So join me, why not, at some of these parishes around the country in the village halls, and we'll get our own entertainment and we'll bring back that sort of version of England that seems to have been thrown in the dustbin by some of these corporate Britain monsters. Well, they're all doomed, and it's time we took back the control. Abso-bloomin' looply.